Guys, this kills me. Like when I am on Instagram and I get comments from resellers, or I'm scrolling through my feed and I see resellers posting about these 7 things, it's like I want to go through the phone and just be like, please stop. You're wasting so much time. Why are you doing that? You say that your sales are slow. You say you're not making sales, but yet you're doing this. It doesn't make any sense. Please stop wasting time doing these things. Download your free reseller resource guide today. I constantly update and share with you discounts, favorites, tools, and resources to help you with your reselling business. After the video, click the link in the description and get your totally free guide today. So today I'm going to share with you exactly what these things are. I've got 7 reseller tasks that I see lots of people doing, and I'm not here to judge. Everyone can do their business however they want. I'm not mad at you for doing it, but I'm saying if you stopped wasting time on this thing, in my opinion, you might be able to focus on these other things that could help your business more. And again, you could choose to totally not listen to me, and that's totally fine, and I won't be mad at you. But I do feel like it's worth saying. I feel like it's worth saying to you, I did waste time on these things, and I've chosen now not to, and I'm better for it. Let's dive into the list. The first thing, I get questions on this all the time, is organizing your closet by category, by color, by brand, by style, by day of the week that I sourced it on. Worth it? Is, how do you do it, Rebecca? Why do you do it? And I don't. The answer is I don't. I don't think you should waste your time organizing your Poshmark closet in a certain order by some kind of criteria. I do not think that it is helpful to make more sales. Now, if you are a very organized, might we say anal retentive, might we say, OCD person, and this makes you happy, this makes you not have anxiety, this makes you feel good, then do it. But know that the time that you spend on organizing your closet in a certain way, putting items all together by category, putting items all together by style, putting this item next to that item, isn't necessarily going to make you any sales, or make you any more sales, or do any of the things that you think it does. In fact, if you took the time that you spent on organizing your closet and put it on listing 2 more items, that would have a bigger effect on your sales than doing the organization. Do I have any actual data to back this up? No, no, not at all. But I've been doing this now over 7 years, and I did all the organizing in the beginning. And it's not like when I stopped doing it, my sales went down. In fact, when I stopped doing it and focused on real sales generating activities, my sales went up. I wasn't a 6-figure reseller when I was organizing my closet by color, style, category, or any other criteria. I just don't think it's worth it. Now, like I said, I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to make you feel bad. I'm here to point out that you could take the time spending organizing your closet and doing other more productive things that will have a bigger impact on your bottom line. I'm just here to point that out. I don't think it's worth it to organize the closet. That's number 1. Number 2 is washing and or steaming your items. So I don't do either for 95% of my items. I don't wash the items in the washing machine, and I don't steam the items with my steamer. I used to do some combination of both on all of my items, and my sales did not go down as a result of stopping doing it on the majority of my items. My sales only increased because I had more time to do more productive things with my business. So if an item needs to be washed in order for you to sell it, that's not really what I'm talking about here. Although I think I've said that I don't really deal with that stuff anymore. I keep a pretty streamlined business, and so I'm not really buying things that need to be washed. And honestly, if something needs to be washed, unless it can be a really quick, easy thing, I'm not even dealing with it. I'm just sending it to ThredUp or sending it to, a buy sell trade store, see if they buy it. Like, I'm not even dealing with it anymore. So I don't really wash items in the washing machine really much at all. I used to keep lots of piles. I've stopped doing that. Steaming, there are a handful of items that I may pull out the steamer to steam, and I'll kind of save them up and do them at once, or if I need to personally steam something. But most of the time now, I'm not buying things that need to be steamed, and if I get them, I'm kind of hanging them up and letting those wrinkles kind of work themselves out, or I'm going to send it to ThredUp, or I'm going to take it to a buy sell trade store if it's so wrinkled that I don't think I could just list it as is. And so I'm not really incorporating washing and steaming into my operations on a regular basis. I'm just not doing it anymore. That was one of the things a long time ago, probably 2 or 3 years now, I said, this has to go. Because even though I raised my average sales price, now I'm only listing things for $50, and most of the time they're selling for $25 to $35. I still don't even know that it's worth my time to steam everything when many of them sell without it. So I kind of just erased it as this isn't a thing that I do anymore. And I wanted to see how it went. And if my sales had tanked, maybe I would have reconsidered and started washing again or started steaming again. But that didn't happen. So I just kept going, and I used the free time to make more content, make more digital downloads for you, do more coaching calls. I used that time to list more items or to focus on other strategies in my business that I feel will help me sell more. So I use that time more wisely. And I think for you, especially if you don't have all these other things going on, you're not a content creator, you're a reseller and your business is reselling. And it doesn't necessarily mean that a steam needs to be part of that for all items. You may make a rule where it has to be a certain level of wrinkled, or you may make a rule that you're only going to steam items that you can list for over $50, or you may make a rule that you just save those items and once a week you steam, and whatever you steam, and that's it. You could have lots of different rules where you keep this, but I say try without it because if you're someone that's buying a thrifted item or a secondhand item or a pre-owned item on the internet, when you get that item, most likely you're going to wash it or get it dry cleaned. That's what I do. I guess maybe everybody doesn't, but that's what I do. And so by you, the seller, washing and steaming, you may be doing double duty because when that person gets it, now they also want to have control over the cleanliness of that item. They may not necessarily trust you. And so they want to also wash and clean that item. And so now it's being done twice. And so I just don't know that it's necessary from a time perspective, from a do you need to waste that extra water in washing it? Do you need to waste that extra whatever with steaming? Is it really necessary? So I say no. For me and my business. You may choose to ignore this one. That's okay too. But I do feel like steaming and washing in most cases can be foregone. And so that's a way that you could get some more time back that you could spend on sourcing, or you could spend it on listing more items, or you can spend it on improving the items you have by revising them and helping them sell. So there's lots of things that you can do with that time, and you may want to skip that one. The next one is going to the thrift store for your main inventory source. So this is something I stopped a long time ago around the pandemic. I started ordering in bulk because I couldn't go to my thrift store anymore. And then I realized that I'm a better, more disciplined sourcer when I get items in bulk that I didn't pick out myself and physically put in my cart. I was able to say no to them a lot faster, easier, and more ruthlessly. So if I got a box, I could pick and choose what I wanted to sell out of that box and list it on Poshmark. Everything else I could do something else with. I could send it to ThredUp. I could take it to a buy sell trade store. Many, many, many things. I have videos on all of that. And so I was better at that than going to a thrift store, putting items in my cart, and then making that second round edit where you put items back. I was terrible at that. And so I would end up making a lot of bad buys. So for me, I found that not only is it faster, easier, more efficient, on so many kinds of levels, I preferred bulk sourcing online, buying boxes, buying pallets, and even, one-off buying. I'll buy something on Poshmark to then turn it around and list it on Poshmark, or I'll buy it on ThredUp to list it on Poshmark, or whatever. I found that it was better for me to get my main source of inventory not from the thrift store. I was more efficient and a better sourcer that way. And so I think that there are a lot of people that feel stuck with what they can find at their thrift store for their main inventory. And they feel and they say that that's what prevents them from getting more items or making better sales or having a high sell-through rate or having an average sales price, because they just go to the bins and they can only get what they can get. And I kind of just call BS on that, because there are now so many options. There are so many places to get inventory online, in bulk, new, pre-owned, pallets, boxes, individual, like there's so many. I get primarily all of my items this way. I do go to some buy sell trade stores and buy handpick certain kinds of items, but for the most part, everything I get is online now and in bulk for the most part. And so I go to Helpsy Source and I get a lot of my pallets from Helpsy Source and my boxes, and you can get 10% off with my code Rebecca the Reseller. I've ordered from Bazaar and gotten some great items there. I've ordered from Boutique by the Box and gotten great items from there. So I try to keep a couple in my back pocket. And so this is a great way to expand on what you're already doing. And for you, your situation is going to be different, because if you go to your thrift store, you find amazing designer items at a great price, and there's so many of them that you can go there for an hour and walk away with buckets full of profit items, then do that. Keep doing that. That wasn't the situation for me, and that doesn't seem to be the situation I hear from many of the people that leave comments and do coaching calls with me. So it seems like there's a lot of people that were in my boat, and you might benefit from making the leap outside of the thrift store for your main inventory source. That doesn't mean don't go. If you like going and you like picking, like if that's something you really like to do, or that's your only like me time, then go and do that. But know that you can supplement or even get your main source from bulk options that could be better for your business overall, and leave the thrift store for just going in and cherry picking the best items that day, or just more for fun or whatever. So I think not going to the thrift store and making that leap, or at least trying that on in your business, is a really good idea and would benefit a lot of resellers. I don't shop at thrift stores anymore. Almost all of my inventory as a six-figure reseller comes from Helpsy Source. I've been ordering boxes and pallets from Helpsy for years now. I love that I can spend my time working on my business and not wandering around thrift stores and digging through bins for hours, only to come away with okay items. Now with a few clicks, I get exactly what I want to sell, all shipped to my door, often with free shipping and always with a discount code. Use my code Rebecca the Reseller for 10% off your next Helpsy Source order. The next thing that I think you should stop wasting your time on for Poshmark sellers is closet clear out. So I haven't participated in closet clear out for probably 3 or 4 years, maybe even longer. I did in the very beginning, when you're a new Poshmark seller and you are eager to make all the sales, and Poshmark puts all these notifications and you don't know that they come every other day. And honestly, they didn't used to do it every other day. They used to do it mostly only on holidays and like long weekends. And so it meant more before. Back in the day, for the old guard, the OGs, it meant more. It was able to produce more for you. There wasn't offer to likers, there wasn't my shoppers, there wasn't automation, there wasn't all of these things yet. That was the main awesome kind of way to make a bunch of sales. So it had its day, it had its purpose, and it may still for some people, but in my mind, I don't want to necessarily run promotions when everyone else is doing it. I like to do my own thing. I like this saying, create your own wind. And so I create my own sales. And so I do my own offer to liker strategy when it suits me, not when Poshmark says, and not when every other cockamamie seller out there is doing the exact same thing. I don't want to do that. I beat to my own drum. So I make my own closet clear out by sending offer to likers in a bulk way, in a very strategic, progressive, and aggressive way. And you can check out my offer to likers video, and that will tell you exactly how to do the entire thing step by step. But for me, I think closet clear out had its day. It may still be helpful for you, but I think that if you stopped it and then started, let's say following my offer to likers strategy or something similar, or did my shoppers instead, or just did a lot of different other things, you wouldn't miss out on whatever you were doing with closet clear out, and you would probably benefit even more in sales and probably time spent by not doing closet clear out and doing it this way. The main difference is that with closet clear out, they pay for the shipping, discounts. And when you do it my way, you eat that. And so if you have your closet set up in such a way where you can't absorb that, $2 or whatever, then you need to take a look at things, because I think that's a problem overall and kind of probably prevents you in other ways from making sales. So I have a pricing formula video as well that could really help you with that. So that was closet clear out. The next one is sorting and prioritizing inventory within a death pile. So this assumes a couple things. One, that you have a death pile, and that's a problem in and of itself. But two, that you kind of like spend time going through it, prioritizing, pulling out things that you're going to list now, pulling out things that are piles, redoing your piles, moving the piles, going through bags, moving the bags, like a lot of wasted time and effort moving stuff, sorting stuff, pulling stuff, and not really, quote, processing the stuff. That's what I think is a waste of time. So if you are a person that buys a bunch of stuff, puts it in a pile, we'll call it your death pile, even though I don't call it that, put it in your death pile, and then you just list from it all week long. And so like it gets created, but then it goes away, and you don't waste a lot of time like moving stuff around and like fadoodling with it, then I'm not really talking to you, and maybe you don't have this problem. But if you're Sally, and Sally goes to the thrift store all the time, and then she comes and she puts her Goodwill bags all over her house, and she's got the IKEA bags, and then she's got the piles that I have to mend, and the piles that I have to wash, and the pile that I have to steam. And then she says, well, today I'm going to steam, so I'm going to pull all of those, but let me sort which ones I'm going to steam, because I'm not going to steam the fall items because it's summer, and I'm not going to do this because of that. And then I'm going to hang everything up, but I'm going to sort it all out and put like all the tops together. But then I get sidetracked and I don't actually take the photos. And then the next time I come back to take the photos, I'm not really in the mood to do tops. So I'm going to sort everything and pull it all again to do jeans. Like that actually happens. Sally is actually doing that. Sally, I don't know if you're watching, but somebody named Sally is doing that. And like, I get it, because I have kind of done it in the past. Probably not to that level, but I have been guilty of like, you just in one of those moods where you're kind of not actually getting anything done, but you think you are, and really you're just moving stuff around. I think a lot of people spend time on this. They spend time pulling items for season. I don't think it's worth doing that. They spend time sorting items by this or that so that they can make their photo process faster, but it doesn't actually end up saving them any time in the end, because they spent more time organizing it all. Or you have all these things saved up so much that you have to keep going through them in order to process anything. All of that, I think, is a waste of time. And I think you need to buy it, hang it, process it, meaning photograph it, pack it up, whatever, list it. That's what you should do with it. It doesn't matter what season, list it all the time. It doesn't matter what brand, list it all the time. If you want to, reorder a few things on your hanging rack, I'm looking at my clothing rack. Like sometimes I do like to put all the sweaters together because you kind of get in that mode. Or if they're big and bulky, I know I need my bigger bag to pack them in. Like, I get that. That's fine. But I don't waste a lot of time, like, doing all the things that I was saying Sally does. I think that's a little bit much. I think you should not do that. And there's things that you could put into place to help you not do that. We can't get into all of them in this video, but if you have like an organizing problem, you may want to talk to me. We may want to set up a coaching call. I'm happy to work through all of those hang-ups with you, because you're not doing yourself any favors, and you think you're working on your business and you're actually just wasting time. And so I don't think you should spend time doing a lot of sorting and organizing of death piles. Side note, I don't really think you should have a death pile. I don't call it that. I call it unlisted inventory, because I don't just keep things lying around. I have 2 IKEA bags right over here behind my desk. That's, quote, my death pile. As soon as I'm done with the stuff on my rack, that's going to get hung on my rack, and I'm going to get done with that stuff too. Like, it's not a big deal. I don't leave it here for days and months and weeks, and I don't keep buying more when I have it. I order in bulk. I process the pallet. I list all the items over, a couple weeks or whatever, and then I go and do it again. Nothing ever hangs around. Nothing ever is wasting the money that I spent on it by having it just sitting here. Everything is in a constant state of flux, moving towards being listed so it can be sold. And so that's the overall mindset, is that items that you paid for and spent time sourcing shouldn't be clogging everything up, not making money. They should all be listed so that you can make money. If you want to keep a small death pile, that's okay. I call it unlisted inventory, and I think 2 to 3 weeks worth is good to just kind of have around just in case. You never know what happens. So that's fine. But like beyond that, Sally's got piles and mounds and piles. We don't want to do that. Okay, next one. Don't forget to stop by the Rebecca the Reseller Academy, where you can find all of the products and all of the educational tools I have available for you, including all the free goodies. Here you can find coaching calls, Poshmark closet reviews, digital downloads, including my free reseller resource guide, as well as all of my courses and all of the bundles to save you lots of money. Hope you'll stop by soon at the Rebecca the Reseller Academy. Next one is fixing piles. So I kind of alluded to this before. I don't really wash things anymore. I don't really steam things anymore. I definitely don't mend things. That's never really been a big thing for me. I usually would give it to my mom, who would help me with that kind of thing. And I know that many of you resellers have gotten into it because your purpose is to save the items from the landfill. And if you just wash it, it can be saved. And if you just mend it, it can be saved. And if that is your purpose, to save the items, then that is fine. Keep saving the items. But if your purpose is to make a full-time living as a reseller and feed your family and save for retirement and, put food on the table, or if you are part-time and you are taking all the money from reselling so that you can pay off your student loans or save up for a down payment on a home or whatever it is that you're trying to do, and it's more of a monetary purpose, the money is more important, then you may not be able to do all the saving of the items. You might need to leave that for Juniper. Juniper is going to save all the items and you're going to run your business and make the money you need. And sometimes those are the same and they work out, and sometimes they're not. If you get the items and you fix them right away and you list it right away, then you're good. But if you're Juniper and she's just really focused on saving all the items, she'll get to it when she gets to it, and she'll have messes all over, and she'll have the to mend pile, to take to the dry cleaner pile, to, do this pile, to do that pile. She's going to have all these piles and all these fixing things and all these I'll get to it later things and the washing and the steaming. And Juniper may make money, she may not, we don't know. But her purpose was to save the items, and that's what she's doing, so that's fine. But if your purpose is to make money, and you have all these piles, and you never actually get to them, or you keep saving things for the whatever, you've already spent your money, now it's sitting over there in the to mend pile, this is not making you money. This is wasting more time. I don't have any of those piles anymore. I have a flaws pile where I kind of save them up, and if it has a flaw that I can't deal with, I send it off to ThredUp, and sometimes they take them and sometimes they don't. And I have a to list pile. It's on my rack and it's in a couple of IKEA bags here. When the ones on the rack are done, the ones in the IKEA bags are going to go on the rack. That's my operation. I have no more piles. I have no things to think about. I have no things to move around. I have nothing to do with any of that. So think about what is your purpose. And then really hone in on, can you do the purpose that you want and fix all of these items? And see what happens with that. The last one is sharing and sending offers yourself. Don't do this anymore. Don't do this anymore. You cannot do it yourself to the level that it needs to be done to play on Poshmark at the stage that we are at. It used to be that all you had to do was share your closet yourself 3 to 5 times a day. That was what was in, like the 30-minute method. That's what lots of people, when I came on Poshmark, were preaching. People that came before, they said, share your items 3 to 5 times a day. And I did that. And then I hired a person to do that. Then I hired a virtual assistant in the Philippines to do that. Then I got automation. And I was probably one of the slower ones to get automation. And now I think it's safe to say that while you're not supposed to have it, it's kind of like the way it works right now. And so you need to make your own wrestling decision with that. but I have moved to the dark side. I have automation. I highly recommend Posher VA, and I utilize it to its fullest to make full use of the money that I pay for it every month and to get the most amount of sales out of it as I possibly can. It more than pays for itself, and I use it to do all of my sharing, and I use it to do all of my offers. I have 2 separate videos, one on how to maximize your sharing formula and one about my offer to liker strategy. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you definitely need to check out those 2 videos because it will make you tons of money. But if you are doing the sharing and the sending of the offers yourself, you are definitely wasting your time, you are definitely losing out on sales, and you are definitely losing out on money that you could have in your pocket because you are refusing to move along with the times, or you're refusing to pay the money, or you're refusing to do, I'm not sure what your reason is, but you are leaving sales and money on the table. I can promise you, not to mention wasting your time, 100% hands down. So those are all the things. Organizing your closet, washing and steaming, going to the thrift store for your main inventory, participating in closet clear out, sorting or prioritizing your death piles, fixing piles, like things to mend and stuff, and sharing and sending offers yourself. Stop doing these things and you will find that you have like buckets of time to be more productive in your business, and I promise you'll probably make more money. So, do you waste time as a reseller? What are some of the things that you waste time on? I would like to know. And do you want a video about more time wasters? Let me know in the comments below. Say more time wasters. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.